Like I'm in that season of my life. Like I've never experienced sadness like that before. I've never experienced heartache, heartbreak, like crying randomly, just crying, like telling myself, girl, stop crying over the things that God has delivered you from. If God brought you out of it, it's for a reason. Okay, God, like, what's next? I did what you asked me to do. Like, what's next? What is up, YouTube? I'm back again. It's been a minute. If you don't know, my name is Kayla. This is another episode of the Richer with God podcast. I feel like I've been on a halt. The devil been trying to stop me from doing this because he knows this is what God put me on this platform to do, and it's just been, it's been crazy lately. It's been a journey, but I am vowing to get back to it. Not letting the devil hold me back anymore, and I'm back to creating, and speaking what God puts in my heart. So let me get comfortable first. Hold on, because I'm sitting at the park and I don't need my shoes getting creased up. All right, that's a lot better. Okay, so today we're talking about a topic that's been on my heart for a while that I just haven't spoken on yet. And it's the aftermath of obedience, aka trusting God in the waiting season. Trusting God when it gets hard to do. Like when trusting God is hard to do, but you still have to trust Him. That's where I'm at right now. And I feel like it's been a crazy journey in this waiting season, in this wilderness season. It's been crazy. First of all, obedience is not always sexy. Like I feel like excuse me. Obedience is not always sexy. Sometimes it's the exact opposite of that. Like sometimes you have to do something that you don't want to do, that you literally do not want to do. That's gonna cause heartache. That's gonna cause sadness. But if God calls you to do something, then best believe He has a plan for you. He has a reason for telling you to do that thing. And so currently I'm in the waiting season, and I did something that God told me to do. First of all, I was obedient, but the aftermath of that obedience, Lord, crazy. Like I've never experienced sadness like that before. Never. Like I've never experienced sadness like that before. I've never experienced heartache, heartbreak, like crying randomly crying throughout the day, randomly crying at night when I just think about the things, and I'm like telling myself, girl, stop crying over the things that God has delivered you from. If God brought you out of it, it's for a reason. But if there's anyone that can relate and that is going through a season of their lives where you feel like, okay, God, like, what's next? I did what you asked me to do. Like, what's next? I feel like I'm in that season of my life, and I'm trying not to idolize anything, idolize money, idolize marriage. A little backstory, quick little, what's the word? Quick little transparency moment. um, I have always had issues with like my love life and just relationships in general. I've just always been single for the majority of my life. Like I'm one of 5 siblings, and it felt like there were seasons and times where everybody would have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. I have 3 sisters and a brother. Everybody would have a mate or a spouse, and it would just be me. And I would be the only one like single, especially holidays. Everybody bringing their spouses to the events, to the trips that we go on, and it's just me. Like I'm the only one single, and so I feel like that has. And I won't lie. I'm happily single sometimes. Like for the most part, I don't mind being by myself. Like I don't have to worry about nobody else. Right now, I feel like I always long for a spouse. Like I'm longing for my husband. I'm waiting for him to come find me, come pick me up, and get me out of this ghetto. But at the same time, I know I'm not ready. I know I'm not completely ready, and I'm giving God that time to work on me, for me to work on myself. my body, my physical, like going to the gym, getting a gym routine, getting a skincare routine. Like, I don't know, like just making sure that I'm up to par physically and spiritually. Like, I'm getting closer to God than I've ever been before. And I feel like I need that right now. I need to get into my kingdom business like this, get back on track with making videos and speaking to you all and speaking to myself at the same time, because these messages be really what I'm going through for the most part, and trying to encourage myself and encouraging y'all at the same time. But with all that being said, it's just been really hard lately to continue to trust God. And I'm just being transparent, like 100. It's not always easy. Like, I gave God my yes, and I'm taking up my cross daily. It's literally daily. Because there's so many times where I be like, I want to go back. I really want to hit this person up. I really want to call them. I really want to text them and pour my feelings out like, hey, I miss you. But I know I can't, because I know what God told me. And despite me, you know, going back and forth like, dang, did I really hear God? Like, I feel like that's the devil trying to come in and take me back to where I was delivered from. Just like the Israelites were delivered from Egypt. It's like they were ready to go back because they weren't used to depending on God for their daily bread. Like, God was literally giving them their daily bread, and they were just like, I won't even say ungrateful, but they didn't have the faith that they needed to have to get to the promised land. So half of them didn't make it. Like, only the younger generation made it. And I don't want to be like that. Like, I want to fully trust God. I don't want to fully make it to my promise. But it's hard out here, and I feel like he knows that. The devil knows that too. So this is where the devil tries his hardest to get you to go back to where God brought you out of. And you can't let the devil win. I wake up every day and think about that. Like, I cannot let the devil win today. I cannot let the devil smile today. I have to stick to my purpose. And it's even with these videos, like, the devil has been so busy and trying to keep me busy and mess with my mind and say that my videos don't matter. I'm not speaking to anyone. I'm not making a difference at all. Like, what's the point? And trying to take up my time with other things so that I can't come out here and make these videos. Like, I don't have anything to talk about. What am I going to talk to the people about? How am I going to do this consistently when I don't get a word from God all that consistently? But recently, I've been watching Pastor Rick Pina, Today's Word, and he's been basically like speaking to me. And lately, there's been other pastors and kingdom creators, kingdom content creators who have been speaking the same messages. Like, if God brought you to it, He'll bring you through it. His grace is going to get you through it. You don't have to toil for it. Like, you don't have to work every day. Like, you don't basically, His grace is sufficient. His grace will get you through it. If He gives you and tells you to do a certain thing, then He's going to give you the topics, the words to say. He's going to bring the right people to your platform for you to do that thing. And it's like, I have to get back on my grind and start this thing again, because the devil has been busy. The warfare has been real, and I just know that I can't look back. Now it's the time for me, for you, whoever's watching this, for you to do the thing that God has been nudging you to do. Get back on it if you fell off. Continue it if you are currently on it, and don't let the devil distract you, because the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And my motivation has been getting to the promised land. Honestly, knowing in my heart that God brought me to this for a reason. God brought me out of that situation for a reason. Even though, Lord, back to the transparency, even though this was like my first healthy, happy relationship. Out of all those years of singleness, all those years of situationships, all those years of not being happy and being lonely, this was like the first, God, this could be the one. And so I would talk to God about it, I probably didn't talk to him as soon as I should have, but I did. And when he gave me that answer, like, our relationship wasn't perfect, granted, but it was the happiest I've been, the most healthy I've been. I learned and grew so much throughout that relationship. Like we helped each other grow so much. However, it just wasn't. We didn't do it God's way. I'll say that we didn't do it God's way, and I feel like that's the reason that He brought me out of that. And I'm not sure if He's planning to, reunite us in the future, but that's not for me to worry about. Um, so that relationship, if you're going through a similar situation as me, whatever it is, that job, like if God took you away from, or took something from you, or took you away from something, it was for a reason. Just know it was for a reason. That He wants to get the glory out of it, and He will get the glory out of it. If you continue to walk with Him and talk with Him and stick with Him, He will write your story. He will write the rest of your story. And He's not gonna. Faith is Him giving you one step at a time, and you taking that step, and then waiting for the next direction. And that's where I'm at currently. Like, I know He's told me to do this. I know He told me to share my journey, share my story, share His kingdom on this YouTube platform. And so that I'm doing. And I feel like the other day He's giving me another instruction or direction. I wrote down all my dreams, my plans, my goals, and said, God, if these align, if these are in your will, then let them flourish, let them prosper. And so recently I feel like He's giving me another thing, another vision that I had years ago, to say, hey, okay, this is next. Work on that next. And so I'm like, okay, thank you, God. Thank you for giving me direction. But just know that He will direct your paths if you seek Him. You have to seek Him. You have to seek Him above all else. Seek ye first, not second, not third, but first the kingdom of God. And I feel like that is something that I've been not struggling with seeking Him. However, there's so many visions, so many dreams, so many plans that I have. And I know many are the plans that we may have, but it's God's plan that prevails. However, I feel like God didn't give me these visions, these plans. I feel like I'm a visionary, and God gives me plans and dreams. And I'm like, okay, if I go and start this, is that me idolizing money? Because I know where I am financially right now is not where God will have me end up. Like, I know He promised me abundance, crazy abundance. I know He gives me these desires for a reason. And my problem right now is trying not to idolize money. But I feel like me trying not to idolize money so bad is keeping me stagnant. But at the same time, I want to be in His will. I want to do only the things that He has for me. And so that's where I've been kind of going back and forth lately on, like, okay, is this in God's will? I know He gave me this vision, but it's now the time. Am I idolizing money? Am I trying to just do this because I feel like it will take off? I feel like it will help me get out of this financial state that I'm in? Or am I truly doing this because I feel like God told me to do it? And so right now, I'm so focused on being inside of His will because I don't want to be outside of it. But I also know that faith without works is dead, and I can't just keep having faith and not working on stuff. So I'm like, God, please show me what I'm supposed to be working on. And this is one of those things. So I know my voice can be monotone, and I really hope I'm speaking to somebody. I hope you're listening and picking up what I'm putting down. But yeah, so just know that God didn't bring you to this point for no reason. It's all gonna pay off. Even though it might be hard. Oh, it's a moth by my shoes. But yeah, even though it's gonna be hard, even though you might not see everything you're not supposed to. You might not see the whole staircase you're not supposed to. You might not see the whole path you're not supposed to. You are obedient. That's the utmost respect and utmost love. Utmost way to show love to God is obedience. It's through our obedience. And even though it might not be sexy, even though it might be times when you cried, the most you ever cried before, just know that God is pleased with you. He's pleased with your obedience. God is pleased with the sacrifices you made, whatever you had to do to show Him, hey, God, it's me and you above all else. And one thing I can say is that when you fully and truly trust God, or you fully let something go, that's when He can work. That's when He can move. Like, I recently had a situation where I was like struggling, looking for somewhere to live. And God, as soon as I decided to let go and just be like, God, I'm tired of stressing about this. Do what you have to do. Like, wherever you want me to end up, I'll end up. If you don't want me in that city, I won't be there. And as soon as that happened, y'all, when I tell you stuff started to fall into place, like my family started making phone calls and putting stuff together. I didn't even know they were doing this. I didn't even know they knew that I was supposed to be moving to this city. And it's like, as soon as I let go and let God, literally, that's when He did His big one. I found somewhere to stay for half the price that I was supposed to spend originally. And it was like, girl, you finally just said, I'm going to live and let it go and put it in God's hands. When you finally learn how to rest and truly trust God, like you're not doing no work behind His back trying to fix whatever it is that you're trying to do, that's when He can truly work on your behalf. When you give Him all the power to let Him be God. Like He's God. He don't need you to help Him out. If He tells you to do something, let Him do it. And so that's where I am right now. Even with this platform, even with my podcast, Richer with God will be back and better than ever. And I'm just excited for this journey to start again, to resume. So yeah, be on the lookout for more podcast episodes. I'm gonna interview myself. I was planning to interview my family members, but that will happen at a later date. God will continue to give me topics to speak on throughout my life, throughout my journey, and yeah. So be on the lookout for more content from me, more words, more motivational messages, because that's what I'm here for, to motivate, inspire somebody with my story, even through the things that God teaches me or tells me. That's what I'm here for. So I love you guys. Thank you if you made it this far. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, I hope it was enlightening. I hope it motivated you in some way. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the podcast. And I pray that God is able to speak to you through me in some type of way. God bless. See y'all in the next video.